The succulent plum shrimp, deliciously sautéed with a zesty citrus sauce, topped with a rich dollop of caviar. But that shrimp could have come from boys as young as 13 years old, tricked to work on Thai shrimp boats. Slavery, human trafficking, and murder are an everyday occurrence in Thailand's shrimp industry. Workers are forced to work 23 hours a day, making less than the minimum wage. Some fishermen spend as long as a year and a half at sea without ever reaching the shore because their loads of fish are transported on cargo boats at sea, a process known as transshipping. These workers barely stood any chance to escape from the hell that they were tricked into. As the Thai shrimp industry faces high consumer demand and extreme labor shortages, an estimated 300,000 migrant workers are exploited via trafficking. This industry has gained global attention and pressure on the Thai government has increased. However, many are still unaccounted individuals who are forced to work against their own will. How did thousands of men end up slaves for the global demand for cheap seafood? And after years of unpaid labor, will they receive any justice at all? Thailand is the world's biggest shrimp producer with more than 2 million metric tons produced in 2018. This number is projected to increase by 20%. The biggest demand for Thai shrimp comes from the US with 46%. The US even has National Shrimp Day annually to celebrate America's favorite seafood. However, this seemingly light-hearted, joyous and gleeful narrative of the shrimp industry does not paint the full picture of the Thai shrimp industry that is infested with exploitation, abuse and transgressions of human rights. As From Faha highlights, wealthy consumers are able to purchase more for less while the true cost is being borne by the poor and exploited. We posit 3 reasons that allow such exploitation to exist. First, economic theory. The increasing number of shrimp farms leads to oversupply of shrimps, decreasing its economic value. These market forces act as a push factor for companies to force workers to work longer hours with lesser pay to accumulate maximum profits. Next, institutional factors. As farmers tend to lack other employable skills, they have no choice but to take up such exploitative jobs. This makes it a vicious cycle for the industry to be reliant on cheap, unskilled labor. Though some factories were raided and forced to be shut down, many of its former workers simply moved to another shed because farmers could not find other jobs. Regulations to clamp down on these factories are hence fruitless. Last and most importantly, corruption. DJF asserts that state corruption in Thailand is described as creating an enabling environment for human trafficking to prosper. For instance, migrants from Myanmar who were escaping religious violence were intercepted by the Thai Navy, who then dragged them to work for the shrimp industry. It is also common for police to accept bribery to allow the smuggling of migrant workers. Raid by enforcement officers will also be secretly informed beforehand so that factories are able to hide their illegal and or underage workers. Molest and rape are also common under the name of body searches. Peeling sheds are said to be the most labor-intensive yet least regulated part of the supply chain, where workers are forced to work long hours to remove unwanted parts of the shrimp. While the Thai government announces that there are 200 peeling sheds, NGOs estimate that there are 2,000 of such sheds, a fact deliberately concealed by the state. Indeed, Nevins and Poluso asserts that mistreatment is inherent to capitalism. So with these pressing problems existing in the shrimp industry, what's next? Guardian investigations have pressured Thailand's shrimp trade, calling producers to farm shrimps at a more humane and sustainable level. As such, Thailand's largest shrimp producer, Thai Union, has stopped outsourcing labor to illegal shrimp sheds and has reformed and taken significant steps to promote safe and legal labor by opening an internal peeling warehouse. Shrimp business owners should tap onto Thai Union's business ethics and labor code of conduct to promote greater levels of accountability and transparency throughout supply chains. So, what can we as consumers do? Every action counts, and it starts with us today. By being informed and aware of this situation, we can do our part in stopping this unethical shrimp trade. It is important for us to take action in enacting the change we want to see. If we as consumers want the best, most sustainable and most ethical shrimps, it is up to us to seek it out, and this may require a shift in expectation. So, are we willing to make that change and think of shrimps like steak, a once-in-a-while thing that's worth paying more for? Other actions can be as minor as creating a petition that puts pressures on companies to take action in making the shrimp industry more sustainable and free from slavery. At the end of the day, shrimp might just be one of the many foods around the world that faces such a problem. So, it is time for us to think twice. about where our food comes from.